Welcome back to another D-Life podcast. I think we are meeting today on 25th December, which is Christmas Day across the world. Merry Christmas to all those who are celebrating the festival. And today we have a very interesting topic. We have with us Shashikant Iyengar and Anup Singh. I don't think both of them require any introductions. They have been such integral parts of D-Life. But I will definitely allow them to just give a small background about themselves. Maybe we can start with Anup Singh, and then Shashikant Iyengar, you can just introduce yourself.
So there are three participants today, even Jasmeet.
Okay, yes, Jasmeet also is there. Okay, I think we'll have Jasmeet introduce yourself first, and then we'll do Anup and then Shashikant Iyengar.
Hello, everybody. So myself, Dr. Jasmeet, and I'm a low carb consultant. I'm also a member of D-Life. Thank you. Thank you, Poshini.
That's very nice. Yeah, Anup Singh.
Yeah, 12th year as a type 2 diabetic on low carb and zero pills. That explains everything, I think, in short.
Yes. Shashikant Iyengar.
So I'm a low carb nutritionist in the panel of D-Life. So I'm a diabetic under remission for the past 7 years, pill-free. And I've been helping people get off medication, especially for diabetes as well as hypertension. And I'm also the first Indian to be accredited by Society of Metabolic Health Practitioner, USA, and with around 12 certifications in low carb. So that's my introduction. Thank you. Thanks, Poshini.
That's amazing. And to give a small background, I'm Poshini, currently pursuing the diploma in Low Carb Nutrition. And very excited to host this panel today. We'll be talking about the practical tips. All of us can't put an end to our social life. We can't stop traveling. We can't stop celebrating for sure. But then how do you manage a lifestyle? Low carb lifestyle or the ketogenic lifestyle is very, very different. It may look daunting or may look very difficult when you're outside your home, but let's hear about practical tips. I think one of the first questions I would like to ask, and I would like all of you to share in, or individually you can just pitch in. What are the biggest challenges that a person can expect when they're traveling, and how to prepare for it?
Ladies first, we start with Jasmeet.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. So Poshini, actually, I will talk about my experience related with my clients. I have few of my clients, they are in the government jobs, and they usually ask me because they have many social events as well. So they ask that how they should manage, because one thing I would like to clear that, the low carb definition is different for a different person. So no doubt all of us, we follow low carb, but it's different for all of us. And when I see the clients, it's different for them as well. So it's always a personalized approach. And, we have one thing they have in their mind, even if they're going out, they should be very much not even strict about the ingredients that they have to use in their meals. One thing they know that what are the things that they should, even if they are going to indulge something, it's not like, if they are going out and they are going to have a cheat, directly go to the processed food, go have a Maggi, pasta and all. They know how they have to manage. That's because, my job is not to tell people eat this for the lunch, eat this for the breakfast, and eat this for the dinner. I always tell them you should educate yourself what is right for your body. And one thing, Poshini, once they follow the low carb, or even if it is ketogenic also, once they follow for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, they directly come and tell me now they can't even go out of the low carb. Even if they eat a single meal, like a cheat meal, their body themselves tell them that this is not right for you. So even if they go for a social event, they know how to manage it. ऐसा नहीं है कि they go and they just eat pasta. ऐसा नहीं होता. So no, they know that because one thing we always tell them that prioritize protein. And there are options available for them, even if they are a vegetarian or even if they are a non-vegetarian. Okay. So they try to manage themselves, because our job is to educate them. not to tell them to eat this or eat this.
I think very nicely put. The way we guide them and educate them is so important. It's because in education they learn for themselves and they can fend for themselves. So it's
Yeah.
better to teach somebody to fish rather than catch the fish and feed them.
Yeah, we can't be with them for 24 hours.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe Shashikant can go ahead next.
Yeah. I've been traveling for quite some time, except for the last 1 month. So managing the professional business tours plus low carb is what I've been doing for some time. It may appear to be very difficult initially, but then after some time we get used to it. But it takes some planning. Now, what I used to do is I used to carry some stuff with me. So typically my business tours are something which will last for 1 week. Say, let us say Monday to Saturday. Most of the time, it could be shorter also. So I used to carry with me a lot of stuff. I used to carry nuts with me so that at night I will solve them and the morning I can have them. And I used to carry cheese, like cheese cubes with me. I used to carry 6 avocados with me. I mean, if you can afford, then it is good. I mean, there's a little costly stuff, so not compulsory for all. And I would carry even whey protein. I will carry 6 sachets of whey protein so that you make up for whatever lower protein which you may be having. So similarly, there are quite a number of stuffs which are available, which we can carry with us. And usually I used to stay in those hotels where fairly good class of hotels where they will have a good buffet breakfast, where I will have a choice. Like since I eat eggs and for all vegetarians and non-vegetarians, it's very easy. You have to only just stay in a hotel and order for eggs. So whether they have a buffet breakfast or otherwise, you can always order for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 eggs you can order. And that itself will fill you up. And I used to go to the restaurant, have eggs, come back to my room, and then I used to have whey, I used to have avocado, a few nuts. In fact, I used to carry, I carry my own brand of coffee also, so I don't depend on them. So whatever coffee I want, I used to carry a pack of coconut milk as well as Amul cream, because I like to have my coffee with coconut cream as well as milk. Coconut cream and Amul cream, fresh cream. So I'll make my own coffee. I do not have tea or coffee in the restaurant, so I'll have it in my room. So this is how I used to stuff myself, have a heavy breakfast, so that I don't have to eat outside for lunch. And my pattern was to always have breakfast and dinner in the hotel where I stay. And of course, for dinner, my favorite was always paneer tikka, or sometimes I'll order some salads. I'll order for some mushroom tikka. So these are the few restricted choices I had. I will not have soup because most of the soup would be mixed with cornstarch. So I really don't trust them. And with whatever I order, I'll ask them to send a couple of Amul butter, specifically Amul butter, not any open butter, because we don't know what they will give me. So if they have the chiplets of Amul, they will give it to me and I'll have that. So this is broadly, how I managed all my professional tools. Even now I'm full-time low carb nutritionist working from home. But if I have to go on a holiday, then let me tell you, I carry all this stuff. So this is what I do. And if you go to a buffet restaurant, buffet in a restaurant, a good hotel where you stay, you will have some stuff which are low carb. No doubt there are a lot of tasty high carb food are available. It is very tempting for many, but nevertheless, once we realize what we have to do, what we are not to do, we will not stray. So many of the good hotels, they will have salad, they will have monk sprouts, salty vegetables. Some of them will have mushrooms, some of them eggs. Of course, it is available. Eggs is available in various forms, either boiled egg, omelette, and some of them will give water poached egg. Water poached egg is so easy to take. Let me tell you, there was one in one of the hotels where I stayed. Like me and my wife, we were out on a holiday. So I asked for 1 plate of water poached eggs with 4 eggs. And by mistake, he thought both of us will have 4 each, and he bought 8. So, but let me tell you, water poached egg is so easy to eat. I ate that whole 8 full eggs. And let me tell you, those guys were just staring at me like I'm a monster. And very often when I order for eggs, they will specifically ask me whether it is egg white or egg yellow. Should I remove the egg yellow? So I'll have to tell them that I don't mind if you discard the egg white, but I want the egg yellow. So in this way, this is how I have managed all my professional tours for the last many years. Let us say last 7 years. Yeah. Over to you, Anup.
Yeah, this is on travel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll break down travel into one is, vacation drives, long drives. And one, of course, where you are, putting up in a hotel and traveling by whatever means, other means are there. Long drive means self-drive. Now, as Shashi said, people were staring at him on seeing him eat 8 eggs. Now, I recall one trip to, I think it was Bundi in Rajasthan, right? So it was a long drive from Indore to Bundi, Chittorgarh, and whole circuit we had covered in about, I think, 10 days. Now, what happened there was while we were checking out, we ordered for breakfast. ठीक है और वो ब्रेकफास्ट में नॉर्मल उनका जो फ्री ब्रेकफास्ट में रहता है ना वो ब्रेड जैम एंड ऑल दैट सो एक तो है कि आई एम अ कॉफी एडिक्ट सो कॉफी गोज विद एवरीथिंग तो पहले तो उसको कॉफी बोला फिर उसको मैं बोला 4 लोग हैं इनके लिए बटर लेके आओ तो वो कटोरी में अलग से बटर लेके आया व्हाट आई डिड वाज ऑल दैट बटर आई टुक एक स्लाइस ऑफ ब्रेड बिग कॉफी और जब वो खाने लगे ना बटर तो as Shashi said people were staring that as if he is out of his mind they were just staring at me कि ये बंदा कर क्या रहा है this is one episode and the other episode I think was in somewhere in Bhuj वो Gujarat mostly it is vegetarian you don't find non-veg so easily so वहाँ पे option था I ordered as Shashi said paneer is available everywhere Manchurian and all these things available everywhere I strictly avoid anything curry based. For one reason, they spike it up with sugar. So usko dry Manchurian order kiya and again I ordered butter. और वहाँ पे भी जो है ना each Manchurian balls I used to coat with butter and then eat it. एक तो ये हुआ. Second, as Jasmeet said, low carb is it is not very hard and fast rule that we are pushing down everybody's throat. Yes, the upper limit is 100 G, 100 grams of carb in low carb. So one has to be very mindful. And once you have been through, 2 or 3 months of this journey, you know what suits you, what doesn't suit you.
Yeah.
And मेरा क्या था जैसे राजस्थान में, you had to climb those big forts up and down. तो वहां पे I mean people will be shocked. I used to carry a Maaza bottle. ठीक है, knowing very well कि कितना मेरे को चढ़ना है, कितना आना है और सुबह no breakfast day. One Maaza bottle used to last going up and coming down. No shoot, no spike, nothing. Now, while driving, this is a practical experience because I love night driving. So 6 घंटे, 7 घंटे, 8 घंटे, 10 घंटे at a stretch. Shashi, you remember वो पुणे का था ना जियो? My case is, जब रात में जब ड्राइव करते थे तो वो ढाबे वाबे पे तो आपको वही मिलेगा जो बकवास मिलता है. I used to carry Amul Cool. ठीक है. Every 3 hours, 1 bottle down. और कुछ नहीं. Reason being that me and both क्या नाम था उसका जियो. हाँ जियो है ना फोरम पे. जोशी. After driving for let's say X number of hours, the sugar used to crash. It used to come down to 70, 80 or something like that. और तो उसका solution यही था how to bring it up back again because night driving is not that easy. तो light white जो हाथ में पड़ता है ना तो you have to be very focused. So 1 bottle down every 3 hours. And then travel by other modes. I went to Patna for that Outlook interview. When I stayed in hotel for 3 days, तीनों दिन जो है coffee was permanent. I don't know how many cups per day. And for meal, it was always dry preparation of paneer and mushroom. That's all. nothing else. So this was on with respect to travel part, what I do. It may not apply to everybody, but these are options available.
I think you summed it up when you said it's not available for everybody. It depends on everybody's individual metabolism, the kind of workout, the profile, everything. It is. These are just tips that we are sharing. Each one had such a different perspective to it. We don't suggest that take this and run with it. You need to work with your coach and figure out what will work for you.
Yeah, Poshini, I would like to add something to this. Actually, as Anup and Shashi, they have shared their personal experience with us. But one thing I would like to say that it depends on a person to person also, and their health goal, what health goal they have, and what are their present, metabolic health condition. That's very important. And another thing is, if somebody is having their health goal, they definitely will have some restriction to their diet. If somebody would like to have a weight loss or have a diabetes or hypertension, even if they are going out or even if they are attending any social event or they are traveling somewhere, they should follow some restrictions. But one thing we at day life, what we teach them is, like, everybody is following at their level of restriction, and their restrictions are such that which is not affecting their social life. They should know about this. Like, restrictions must be there, but even if they're going out or traveling, like Anup mentioned about his experience and Shashi his experience, I always tell my clients, you go out, you attend any social event, and like they are sharing their personal experience when they're traveling by their own. And when we are in a group of people, like, there the situation is very much different. Like, we always have a social compulsions, because people around, they will always tell you, kya yaar tum nahi kha rahe ho, like this, tumhe khana chahiye, you are coming here to enjoy, all things like this, है ना? But if they are educated, they know that what they have to eat.
Yes,
this is very important.
I think you just broached into my second topic, and why don't you just continue more on that? What is the mindset one person should carry? What should their thinking be when social pressures come? Like you said, when certain people do end up forcing, and India is a very culturally, people think if you don't eat, it means their hospitality is in question. So when this emotional equation is there, how do you suggest somebody to handle that situation, and what are the things that you do with this, and that the rest of you can perhaps talk more on the same.
No. Yes, Poshini, like Shashi mentioned, he used to carry his stuff with him. So that's what I teach my clients, that you must carry something along with you, so that you should not, have to be dependent on somebody else. Like, if you have somebody with you, you can choose something when you are traveling. But it's like, and one thing is very important, my clients, we all with low carb, they are very much metabolically flexible. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हाँ, if they don't get something for one meal, they are like dying. ऐसा नहीं है, because we are metabolically flexible and they can skip a single meal, very easily. So they can very easily, you can cope up with the situation. That's what my point of view is.
Very nice. Maybe the same question over to Shashikant and Anu.
This is you mean someone is invited to some party or friends?
Yes.
Yeah. See, but wherever we go, what I tell is that we will have to look at little more protein foods. So it's a simple thing which you have to do. Okay. So first of all, what I suggest is, if you're going to a party or somewhere, you at home, you load up on some protein foods and go, so that you are not ravenously hungry. One, so that you are very, very safe. And whatever you take, it will blunt. So my idea is, have some protein food and have some apple cider vinegar, and then go to any party or wherever you want. Once you go there, you will have to little source proteinaceous food, simple, and then whatever fibrous vegetable we have. So for example, if you go to a restaurant in Mumbai, I say that you can get paneer tikka, you can get mushroom tikka, and then you can get people want to enjoy pav bhaji. So you have Jain pav bhaji. Jain pav bhaji is made with cauliflower without potato, and you can order something like paneer cheese Jain pav bhaji. And when that pav comes, just slide it to the next person sitting next to you. Slide off that bread and then you can have it with extra serving of butter. So you in effect, you're getting cheese, in effect, you are getting fibrous vegetable, you are getting some paneer, put on some masalas, put on some butter, and then you can just enjoy. Have a glass of lemon juice without sugar. So these are the options. In case these are not available, if you're going into a wedding or something, then scan for some proteinous food and then take it. It could be as something like anything, chole, rajma, dal, doesn't matter. So these are little high carb, but doesn't matter. You take this, go for some salads initially, fill yourself with salad, take this dals and pulses, and then take a small serving of whatever you want. It is okay. I mean, at some situation, it is very difficult. So when I say that you want to go for this, don't go whole hog. What I mean is you take a small serving of everything, but take after you take some protein. That is a simple trick. So that you prevent that blood sugar spike in case someone is a diabetic. And for rest, it is okay. They can just manage. Yeah, Anup.
Yeah, to whatever Shashi said, I'll, first take up the parties like marriage reception, right? Where there's a crowd and it's all carb loaded basically. So what I do is, I skip a meal. Pehla. Second, what I do is, at any, function, you're almost there for around 90 minutes to 2 hours. Maybe 60 minutes to 120 minutes. Make a point, you don't sit during those 2 hours. क्योंकि देखिए marriage function जो है ना वो होता काफी बड़े इलाके में, area is quite huge. You can keep walking, roaming around, talking to people. Don't sit and delay your meal to right before you are planning to leave. ऐसा नहीं कि जाते ही वो लिफाफा पकड़ाया and then straight to खाने पीने पे लग गए. So that is not the way. If you are staying there for 1 hour, last 15 minutes you keep for having your meals. Don't sit at all. आप घूमते रहो. So maybe some person might say that आप बैठ जाओ कहीं क्यों घूम रहे हो, तो just ignore it, smile and ignore it. The idea behind walking is you're basically emptying your glycogen stores, making your body ready to soak up more of carbohydrate that you might take. And precautionary, yes, look for any protein rich food. Paneer सब जगह होगा, ठीक है, तो पनीर ले लो आप. No ban on any rice. Take 1 serving spoon of rice. चपाती लेना है या नान लेना है वो भी ले लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. That is what I do. I take everything, including sweets, including last में coffee with sugar, including pan. Then after that, make sure you are leaving for home, and as soon as you reach home, start climbing stairs. ठीक है? So as I said, you have to be very mindful. अब जैसे मैंने बोला ना, माजा की बोतल लेके मैं क्लाइंब करता था ऊपर नीचे. I know कि इतनी देर में मैं ऊपर चढ़ूंगा, तब पसीना गिरेगा, वापस आऊंगा. It will take so much of time, and keep sipping. Likewise, यहाँ पे climbing up and down to fort है नहीं घर पे. You start climbing stairs, and I've done this practically. ऐसे तो ज्यादा जाता नहीं हूँ, but एक reception की वहां पे lot of sweets were there. ठीक है, तो I took everything, 2 serving, 3 serving, जितना भी था. Immediately, I never sat there for around 90 minutes. तुरंत घर पे आया, 300 stairs up and down. Then I tested my blood sugar. 1 hour was 160. Fully carb loaded, fully sugar loaded, party. Second आता है when there is a one-on-one invitation. कि आपको किसी ने invite किया, आप उसके घर पे गए. Just request them. I'll eat everything, but थोड़ा, ठीक है? Don't force me, कि अरे एक चपाती और लीजिए, 2 ये चावल और लीजिए, आपने खाया नहीं. Load up with vegetable, दाल होगी, vegetables होगी. Load up, थोड़ा चावल लीजिए, 1 रोटी लीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. That is what I do. But follow it up with some movement, or best is exercises, of course, climbing stairs. उससे बढ़िया कुछ नहीं है. आप कहीं से नहीं निकल पाते हो, मान लीजिए कोई रिसेप्शन है, कहीं पे भी दीवार ढूंढ के स्टार्ट डूइंग पुशअप अकेले में. These are little things, it adds up. वरना क्या है कि वो 160 की जगह it might have shot up to 250. ठीक है, as long as you're mindful कि आप कितना खा के कितना आपका स्पाइक होगा, Okay, without doing anything. If you are going overboard, then do all the exercise that you can do immediately within 1 hour of having your meal.
I think that's a marvelous tip because socially we cannot avoid, as you said, and this is also a good tip for those who tend to say that we can't resist ourselves. Yes, there is. I think Shashikant and Jasmeet gave a lot of examples on how people who have that ability, innate ability to avoid, who don't run, who are able to consciously say no. But yes, we also need to understand that people who cannot say easily no doesn't make them weak, but let's give them options on how they can also manage it. And I think that is what is unique with D-Life. You work with that circumstances and help them find solutions that is tailor-made for them. As Jasmeet said, each person's metabolic health is personalized and it's true only for them. I think there are a couple more questions that I would like to ask, and couple of the big ones are coming in. How to manage alcohol and social drinking, since we are in this Christmas New Year time. Maybe Jasmeet could get started on this, or Anup itself can get started, and then we'll go in the reverse order.
Yeah, my same thumb rule applies. Even if it's a function or celebration at home, skip a meal. Get hold of, make stay as your friend for that day and enjoy. If you're taking drinks, 2 packs, 3 packs, doesn't matter. But be mindful of what is going in. Be, very sure that you cannot overdo. And corrective step is start climbing stairs within 1 hour of consuming and do 300 stairs up, 300 down. Take your reading. If it is high, do it again. So इसमें क्या, जैसे मेरे से कोई पूछता था कि चपाती की खा सकता हूँ कि नहीं, मैं कहा yes, you can have chapati, walk for 1 kilometer per chapati, have 20 chapatis, no problem, walk 1 kilometer per chapati after finishing your meal within 1 hour. आप 4 चपाती ले रहे हो, 4 किलोमीटर चल लो भरी धूप में, चाहे 42 डिग्रीज हो, 45 डिग्रीज हो, whether it is raining, just do it. तो मेरा my maybe, that is because I am not that, I don't have a long history of diabetes before I was detected. So maybe I'm more flexible. So in my dictionary, nothing is banned. Only thing is we have to be very careful about how much we are taking per meal. Now, how does one, get to this? Shuru mein, coaches will tell you, let's say for 3 months, you are stabilizing in that period, getting acclimatized. मैंने जो है, what is my carb tolerance, right? I tested with 30 grams pure glucose. First I took 30, then next iteration I took 50. And no moving around, just sit and measure, readings on that home testing meter. Up to 30 grams pure glucose. I could tolerate well because 1 hour reading was around 128 or something. And 2 hours was normal. When I switched to 50, that 1 hour reading shot up. So from there, I knew that per sitting, I can tolerate 30 grams of pure glucose, which could translate to 40 grams of carb with movement, because carb would not, spike your blood sugar as fast as glucose. तो जो उसकी प्रोफाइल होगी वो थोड़ी फ्लैटेंड होगी, and you will be moving around. So 30 glucose की जगह 40 carbs I can take. So likewise, everyone, once they have stabilized, they should do some personal testing also, gather data, and then come to a figure. Okay, yes, this is my tolerance. Beyond this, if I go, I'll not be able to manage. Drinking, 2 peg है साल में, जैसे Christmas है, people will drink 5. Get hold of stairs. चपाती खाना है, खाइए आप, 1 चपाती पे 1 किलोमीटर चलिए. आप दिन में 14 चपाती खाते, 14 किलोमीटर चलिए, nothing will happen. करते रहो आप. Problem is people eat and then they go, watch TV and go to sleep.
Yes.
वो नहीं चलेगा.
Yeah, Jasmeet.
Yes.
So, before I express my view, I would like to, or warn all the viewers that whatever Anup Singh has said.
Yeah, very important point.
These stunts are performed by trained professionals.
Yes.
Right at home. so Anup, whatever he said is an exception, and he is a
Yeah.
he's a trained person who knows. If others try to imitate, let me tell you that they will fail. So this is a warning which I would tell. Please don't try it on yourself unless you are monitored with someone else. Yeah. Now, when it comes to alcohol, a couple of pegs is okay. What I suggest is not to take beer, take hard drink, maybe whiskey or gin or vodka and all is okay. Don't mix Coke in that. People tend to mix Coke in alcohol, which is a dangerous combination. It will hit the liver hard. And there is addition of one more, which will hit the liver even hard, is to add those deep fried bhujiyas, which are available. So those deep fried in rancid bhujiyas, along with alcohol, along with Coke, is such a combination that it will whack your liver in such a way that you will have to take multiple number of medications to handle that, to lower that triglyceride, and whatever fatty liver, whatever fibrosis it will cause is immeasurable. So if you want, have it in plain water or have it in sparkling water or soda, what we call. And along with that, please take something which is saturated fatty acid, like cheese or paneer, or you can have salad. Now, there are a couple of studies which have shown that saturated fatty acid, if it had with alcohol, then it actually is hepatoprotective, or it protects the liver. There are some small studies, probably studies done on mice or rabbits. Okay. So my contention is, have some cheese, have some, if you want, have paneer, have some salads, which are all okay. And don't take anything which has, avoid stuff like beer, and even wine does tend to have a little bit more of carbohydrate. So this is how I will tell everyone to manage. Yeah. Anyone wants to add anything, Jasmeet?
Yes, I would like to add, as per my experience. So what happens is, I know that many people, they are a regular drinker. So, but once in a while is okay. It depends, what is their present liver condition. Like, even if it's like any celebration, like a Christmas or New Year also, you must see what is your present health condition. So I ask people to add on a regular basis some antioxidants as well if your liver is already damaged. And once in a while is still okay if your liver is damaged, but you should focus on a 1 or a 2 pack, not more than that. And but I see that people, even if I ask, but when they go on any social gatherings, they don't even think about that. At that time, everything is out of their mind. So it's very important. First, you see, some people say like their friends are also eating the similar number of packs, but their liver is okay. So it's a personalized approach. It's not that if your friend is, their liver is handling like at 100 or 200 ml of alcohol, your liver will also be able to handle 200 ml of alcohol. It's different for a different person. So it depends how long that alcohol stays in your body. So how the ability of your liver to get rid of all that stuff which you had. So it's accordingly you should plan. That's important, Poshini, what I think is.
I think we got some really good inputs.
Yeah. One more point, Poshini. See, this is specifically for those with diabetes and those who are taking sulfonylurea class of drug, like glycoside or glimepiride. Of course, there were older drugs like glipizide or glibenclamide, which may not be used as much, but nevertheless, some people may be on this. Now, what happens is when they have alcohol, there's a possibility that the action can be potentiated. Now, what happens is, like if I have a couple of packs of alcohol today, next day my fasting will be lower. So people will be surprised whether alcohol lowers blood sugar. No. What happens, your liver is so busy metabolizing those alcohol, it doesn't have time for gluconeogenesis.
Yeah.
So actually we will find a lower fasting on the next day. But nevertheless, if we keep doing it on long term, everything is going to rise. You're going to damage your liver, and then everything is going to get messed up. So what I mean to say is there's a possibility that people may face hypoglycemic action if they're taking glimepiride and then they're taking any of the sulfonylurea, or even the older ones like glycoside, glipizide or glibenclamide. It can potentiate the action and people may face hypo.
And people who are on insulin.
Not, I mean, this Maybe on insulin also, yes, because
Yeah, I have seen in many people who are on insulin and they suffer hypoglycemia, you know.
Because the gluconeogenesis doesn't take place to balance uh, the blood sugar. One. Secondly, if they're on older class of drug, there's a possibility some of the sulfonylureas will have what is called the anti-abuse reaction. Okay, like those alcoholic withdrawal for that disulfiram is given, which is an anti-abuse like action, redness and feeling of vomiting sensation, everything will be there. So there's a possibility that I'm not telling it will be there, but there's a possibility, especially with the older class of sulfonylurea, they can face this. So people on sulfonylurea class of drug needs to be very, very cautious. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Anup, you can go ahead.
Alcohol clearance rate of liver. One finer point is that it is different between men and women.
Yes.
ऐसा नहीं है कि if we are taking 2 pegs and if alcohol, you know, I don't remember the exact number, 7 grams per hour or ऐसा कुछ है. In women, it is different from men. So whatever applies to us, if we are boozing, will be not applicable to ladies who are drinking. उनका दोनों का अलग है clearance rate, the alcohol clearance rate by liver.
I think this is also very important. Nobody says do not enjoy or become antisocial. Be responsible, know the limitations of your body, understand and respect what your body can do for you. And if you're mindful of these things, I think you can always enjoy socially and still not feel left out or anything. Not everybody needs to choose to become a teetotaler, although that is what I would recommend people to. But yes, we do understand that a lot of social interactions require or need people to have alcohol, or it's become the normal or the culture around. We do not say isolate yourself from these things. If you can, you can. If you don't want to, there are options in which you can do it responsibly. And I think that is what we wanted to highlight with this. While Shashikant mentioned that using some saturated fats along with it can protect your liver, doesn't mean you have coconut oil and then go enjoy. Let's not take it to the other extreme also. As I think Shashikant rightly said, whatever each of them are saying is very customized, and you need to know your body, your limits, and in case you do not know how to do this, you need to work with a consultant, especially low carb consultant, or somebody who's trained in these fields that can help you understand what is a tolerance point for your body. And wrapping up, I think I would like to ask. Yes, Shashikant, you have.
Finally, before you wrap up, I have a couple of tips for people who may not be able to avoid high carb in certain situations. So what we have to do is what I do, let me tell you, is if I go on a holiday and I know that everything is going to be messed up, I may not get the desired food. So what I have been doing is to take metformin 500. So I will take metformin 500 with each meal. So whether it is 2 meal or 3 meal, that is one thing I will definitely do. What I'll do is I will start 2 days prior to going on a trip where I know I'm going to be messed up. Like for example, if I go on a wedding, South Indian wedding, so for 3 days I know it's going to be high carb. That is, I cannot expect paneer, mushroom, or whatever I want. There is no point in having whey protein also in my bag. Everything is totally messed up. Everything is 80-90% carb. So what I'll do is I'll take metformin 2 days prior. And then with each meal, I'll have 1 metformin 500. And then coming back home, immediately I'll switch to my low carb food, but then I'll continue metformin for 2 more days. So this is a small trick which I've been using for quite some time. Secondly, there are some drugs which some of the doctors have been recommending as what is called as party drug. I have actually seen a prescription. So this drug is called as alpha glucosidase inhibitor, or something which is used as voglibose or acarbose. So I have actually seen a couple of prescriptions where the doctor mentioned these drugs as party drugs. So what these drugs do is basically they prevent or delay the absorption of carbohydrate. So voglibose is generally had just before the meal. So if someone is going on a party, someone is going to get messed up, Voglibos 0.2 or 0.3 mg. They will just pop it up. Some of them are available as mouth dissolving tablets also. So just keep it in the mouth, no need of water also. And go ahead and have whatever little carbohydrate you want. So I don't recommend this at all, especially Voglibos, but nevertheless can be done. But metformin is something which I've been doing. The only caution is if someone is someone is having a renal issue, then they need to be very careful. So these drugs should not be something which should be taken blindly, especially if the EGFR or estimated glomerular filtration rate is very less. So they cannot take any drugs. So these drugs has to be taken only under supervision of an expert. Maybe you can ask a family doctor or someone. And if you're all okay, if every parameter is healthy, then we can have metformin 500. And even some doctors have been recommending Voglibos. Though this is not a medical advice, let me make it very, very clear. This is something which I've been doing it individually. Yeah, thanks, Poshini.
I think that is very, the disclaimer at the end is very important. I would like to reiterate on that. Whatever Shashikant shared, please do not go and practice it for yourself. Always do it in supervision because there are a lot of things that you don't want to mess up further or worse than where you started off. So, but that was one of my questions in closing. How do you handle where there is, especially South Indian weddings, family situations, where yes, you do not have access to even paneer or, I think the most that we can expect is curd, not even hung curd. But the quantities are so less that you really can't classify any protein out of it. That was going to be my next question. Yeah, yes, Anup Singh, you can go ahead.
That to Shashi's point, of where paneer and all these luxuries, so-called luxuries, are not available. Even in my native place, when it's a marriage function, it is all carb, 90%. Okay. So besides what Shashi said, add walking, and of course skip one meal.
So the previous meal should be skipped. Keep in mind, not the next meal, or both. Both perhaps, the previous and the next. But definitely the previous meal has to be skipped is a very strong suggestion, yes. And walking or stairs, as Anup said, should become one of your best friends too. I think I would allow each and every one of you to give an example and a situation where it was, maybe it could be your own or your client, a practical tip, a practical example of how there was no choice, but they created a choice. It could be your example or, a client's example. I think examples can give a lot of input into the session, and then we can wind it down. Whoever would like to go first.
Shashi.
I think examples I have given already in my discussion. my each and every discussion was actually an example of how I did. So whether in my professional trip, whether going for a wedding, loading up with protein and then having water. Yeah, one more thing I'd like to recommend is, especially what we'll do in a festival when it comes to consuming sweets. I think is very, very important. Now, consuming sweets, there are few choices. One is you can prepare at home. You can prepare a low carb sweet at home using erythritol and stevia. And there are a lot of choices available. Now, secondly, if you go into a buffet dinner and then you find a lot of sweets there, what will you do? What will you choose is very important. So what will you choose is, first, don't choose liquid sweet because it's going to spike like hell immediately. Don't choose any sweet which is made up of grains. So grains again will spike like hell. Anything which is made with rava, maida, wheat, it will spike like hell. Instead, choose those sweets which are made with nuts, which are made with, let us say, those Bengali sweets are very good because it is nothing but paneer. So it is all curdled milk. So just squeeze out that liquid sugar and then have it. It is okay. And Kaju Katri is very, 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 very good. I mean, it doesn't spike like hell. So you can have any one of those which are made with nuts and which are made with solid milk, not liquid milk. So like liquid kheer and all, if you take it, is going to spike like hell immediately. And anything grain based, those rava laddus and all, I just don't touch. I have never touched them in the last 7 years because they will spike like hell. So there's a short tip on which sweet to actually choose. Yeah, Poshini.
Very nice tip. And just to say, go for one Kaju Katli, not the entire box. Maybe we can have
One can
others
stop
also.
at one.
Yeah. So yeah, who else would like to wrap up with an example?
I can give for my client. Actually, Shashi has already mentioned, but I would like to add some more to that. So I always tell my clients to, even if you're on a social event or anywhere, you start with the fiber. As Shashi has already mentioned, start with the fiber and then you add some protein or fat source, combine protein and fat source, and then you have your vegetables and all, which again contain some fiber and all, and then you can go for the sweets. So if you go in this sequence, you can somehow you can reduce the effect of or the spike that you will get in the blood sugar or the insulin level. And in addition to that, what Anup said, then start using what you ate, start moving. So like even if you are eating, start to use it by movement or stair climbing or whatever you want. Like Anup also do sometimes some dumbbells after coming back to home. You can do all the exercises, combine everything all together. And in addition to that, Poshini, what I see is, I also ask my clients to do some breathing techniques also. So breathing techniques also help before meal. So I want them to be in a rest and digest mode while eating. If they are already in a fight or flight mode, their blood sugars are already high. So I ask them to do some like a slow breathing exercises, like wherever, even if they are in any event, they can do that by just 2 to 3 minutes. So they calm down their nervous system and then they start eating. So that really helps a lot, because I am using with few of my clients the CGM, and I have seen if they add like a some breathing exercises even for 2 or 3 minutes, that really helps with their blood sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, one more. If you're finished.
Yes.
So yeah, like so whenever we go out for some, again with friends, the option of eating, we'll have an option of eating non-vegetarian foods also, like meat, fish. So I suggest that don't go for deep fried ones. They are something which I'm totally against. Go for the tandoori variety. You can go for tandoori chicken and all those stuff. So this could be something which is very, very useful. And sometimes, you can order those sizzlers also. And then choose all the low carb stuff and let the high carb go to the next person sitting next to you. So this is also one option which I'm giving. Yeah. Thanks. Poshini, yeah, over to you.
We will also like to hear from Anup, but maybe one of you can, or all of you can give in an input of when you're offered for tea or coffee, as well as mid-morning, evening. I think that's one thing that we've missed out. But yeah, over to Anup.
What I do, as Shashi said, take it with a pinch of salt or a big disclaimer that don't perform these stunts at home. Now, as everybody knows, my major source of, I don't call it food, I call it energy. I am a dairy dependent diabetic, a coffee addict of at least, from morning when I get up to within next 2 hours, maybe around a liter of coffee is down. And before I leave, it is always with 2 fistful of nuts. That's all. Okay. Apne ek fist is average would be around 25 grams of nuts, which is around 150 kilocalorie. Okay. Apne 2 liya 300 ho gaya. And with that coffee down, it is around 300, 400 kilocalories already in. So 600 to 700 kilocalories I am loaded with before I am leaving. Now on site, there is no food available. I keep walking. ठीक है, वो वहां पे लोग बोलते हैं कि आप कभी बैठ जाया करो, मैं कहा नहीं मेरी आदत है, मैं चलता रहता हूँ. There, I don't mind taking tea with sugar, coffee with sugar. I don't take any stevia, erythritol, or artificial sweetness. Somehow I could not settle with it. So normal, what everybody is taking, I take, because I know I've walked, 4 to 5 kilometers. I can very easily take a big cup of tea with sugar. नहीं करते हैं अगर ना, तो I have seen it personally, I start having headache. Now that is one indication that I need some, some sort of glucose, or essentially glucose. So coffee with sugar, nuts, Dairy mein, I think my own consumption, if I calculate from milk in form of coffee and curd, I guess it would be around 1.5 liters per day. And nuts, baki, when I know, around, let's say, din bhar mein agar 1200, 1300 kilocalories have gone down this way, I can eat rice and dinner, no problem. But yes, being mindful of quantity that I need. Agar itna rice hai, itna means around, I would say 1 fistful of raw rice cooked. Maybe 20 grams uncooked rice, 40 grams, usko aap jo bhi dilute karna karke, enjoy your life. And of course, cover it up with exercise. Exercise, my favorite is climbing stair because it gets over in 15 minutes. No long hours of walking. And I never do any exercise. What I call, initially I used to call it mindless walking. कि आप सुबह 6 बजे उठ जाओ और 6 किलोमीटर चल रहे हो without knowing what your blood sugar is. You are just doing it because somebody said you should do it. If I have to survive only on walking, I'll only walk after the meal and split it across 3 meals. I'll never walk 8 kilometers. Shashi does 10 kilometers in the morning. My style is if I have to walk that much, I'll split it into 2 or 3 meals. 1 घंटे के बाद start walking. I had done this. 45 degrees heat. When nobody on road. After lunch, I used to walk alone. After the high carb. Same applies to low carb.
Maybe you can also touch upon the water requirement or hydration. I think that is one thing that we've missed out in all of this,
Yeah, so,
especially when physical activity is higher.
Yeah. So, kaisa hai ki, just to add to what they said on, see, if it is tea, coffee outside, and then mine is like I have without sugar. I use stevia at home as a sweetener, but when I go out, then it is without any sweetener of any kind. So black tea, black coffee, green tea, whatever. Sometimes I might have little milk also. Add just very little milk if it is available separately, not too much. If the occasion demand, then I can have full cup of milk tea and milk coffee, but without sugar. That's all. And if I have to have something, then it will be maybe some nuts or something. Otherwise, I not touched biscuits for the last 7 years. So there's something which I am against. Yeah. So you just asked some question just now.
Yeah, hydration is something, especially when you do end up eating a little more carbs. What is the kind of hydration a person
I
needs to
think
take?
like we go as per thirst. So some people will have a little more water, some will have little less. So I have a lot of water. I mean, I somehow feel I have a lot of thirst, and then I have a lot of water. But I think maybe Anup can reply on this properly.
I've never focused on water intake, sir, because mera coffee itna ho jata hai na. All the water comes through that route only. I hardly remember. Okay, I take one bottle to side. Oh, that also comes back with unused most of the time. But in general, as a thumb rule, you should have around 3 liters per day. Fluid, I would not call it water. Fluid intake should be 3 liters approximately. Usme pani bhi aa gaya. If you're a dairy dependent diabetic like me, consuming 1.5 liter milk, so आप 1.5 liter पानी पे भी जिंदा रह सकते हैं. If you are exercising, then make sure you are hydrated, especially if you are doing weights, and that would come automatically to you because after doing, let's say, barbell कर रहे हो आप और एक बार किया ना, तो you automatically will need water. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बिना करे, after 1 or 2 repetitions you will find that you need water. One is natural instinct कि कितना पानी चाहिए, body will demand, and the other is, of course, being mindful of how much have you taken.
Poshini, I would like to add to this. Yes, as Shashi said, we should go by thirst. But another thing is when we are on a low carb diet or low carb lifestyle, our water requirement gradually it increases day by day. I have seen, because our insulin levels go down and our salt retention capability is also reduced. And with the salt, that's why people are asking me that why, they are passing urine very frequently when they start on the low carb. So I always tell my clients, you listen to your body. So if, but I always tell them, like Anup mentioned, that his body asks him for some sugar, like some headache start and something like that. So that's like a blood sugar crash happens with him, because he's different and he's very much expert. But I never tell my clients to go do something like this. So I always tell them to add some salt to their water. So after a week, I ask them to start adding some salt whenever they drink some water, because their salt retention capacity is reduced when they are on a low carb diet. So it's very important. So that's why they are like, their tongue gets dry on a keto or a very, very low carb diet. So that's very important. Hydration is important. And one must go by thirst, and also add some electrolytes to your water. Otherwise, one can have dehydration even with having, 3 to 4 liters of water also without electrolytes.
So, yeah, Anup, you can go ahead.
One point, I mean, this is not directly related with today's topic, but as Jasmeet said, listen to your body. Now, listening to your body on I'm talking of my case. Maybe Shashi's case will also be applicable to this. If I see, sense tingling sensation in my thighs, I immediately know my blood sugar is up. And every time when I cross check on a meter, it is 160, 170 in that range. So that is one. Second is, of course, Shashi and me are, tinnitus patient or tinnitus, whatever it is called. Moment sugar level creeps up, that ringing starts, and very horrible ringing. So as we said, as we have been talking, that always be mindful of what is happening. Basics. In broader perspective, what is happening to your body, and body will give you a signal if you are observing. Nahi, theek hai, pair mein dard hai, theek hai, so jao daba ke. If it is happening, try to find out why it is happening. And my thigh tingling, I must have taken around 10, 20 readings just to confirm. 160, 170, that tingling starts. So now, I don't even measure my blood sugar for years. साल में एक बार कभी lab में हो गया 5.4, 5.5 आ गया, I'm happy. Because you can come to know when it is high. And as I said, when I get a headache, I know it is in 70s, 80s, so I pump it up with, sugar-based tea or coffee.
That's really insightful. I would like to thank each and every one of you, because we had I think a very interactive session, a lot of examples, personal experiences, and most importantly, practical tips on how to navigate through this entire time. We will, on behalf of D-Life, we would definitely like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. Also, do have a Happy New Year. Are we done? Do we wind this down?
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks, Poshini. Thanks, Anup. Thanks, Jasmeet. We had a good time. So, I mean, if Jaideep or Mandar wants to ask some question, they can as well ask if they want to. So they can unmute themselves.
Thanks so much. I don't have a specific question, but really enjoyed my very first session. I just signed up for our course just last week. I've been following some of you guys on Twitter. Really appreciate all the examples and insight. I'm really early in the, sort of studying it as a topic, but I've been reading about it for a while. Could connect some dots, and I think some new information for me, definitely. So no specific question, but wanted to thank you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Mandar.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mandar.
Jaideep, you want to ask something? Fine, otherwise we can wind up. Thank you. Thank you, Poshini.
Before we wind up, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Poshini. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you, Anup.
Thank you, Anup, Shashi, and Jasmeet.